first written on my book again. My son comes to me to tell me of an issue with my daughter. Madam President, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and very welcome guests. How many of us here have played referee between two people? We've all done it at some stage. And it can be exhausting, upsetting, and frustrating trying to reconcile people's differences. I'd like to tell you about a Hawaiian process of reconciliation called the Ho'oponopono. It translates to mental cleansing. I'll give you some of its history, some of its modern day uses, and also how I've adapted this to my family environment. Ho'oponopono can transform your moment. Back in the 1960s, an author, Mary Pookie, wrote that the Ho'oponopono can correct, restore, and maintain good relationships within a family. It's quite an amazing statement to make, really. What happens is, if there's an issue within a family, the elder will gather the family together. They'll sit around, they'll discuss the issue. They'll talk about their feelings. Feelings are acknowledged and discussed. A type of confession takes place. Forgiveness. The issue is released with the Ho'oponopono mantra, and I'll get to that towards the end of my speech. In 1976, Myrna Simeona adapted this family reconciliation process to one that we can use as a self-healing process. She also extended it to one that can be used as a general problem-solving process in the greater community. On your own or in a group, the Ho'oponopono can transform your moment. I'd like to give an example of where this was done in the greater community. Dr. Hugh Len worked in a mental institute for the criminally insane in Hawaii. This institute housed the toughest mentally disturbed criminals. His ward was so chaotic that the patients had to be shackled and sedated. If you worked there, you walked around with your back against the wall for fear of being attacked. That's how dark it was. That's how depressing it was. That's how dangerous it was. Dr. Hugh Len is famous not for the miraculous healing that took place, but for the process he used, the Ho'oponopono. His approach was quite simple. Initially, he didn't even interact with the patients. He sat in his office and he read through the criminal files. As he read through these files, he noticed what negative feelings, thoughts, or judgments resonated inside of him. He used the Ho'oponopono mantra to clear out those negative thoughts. When he got to a stage where he had no more negative thoughts, feelings, or judgments, he called this zero state. When he reached zero state, he'd no negative thoughts about these people. When he reached zero state, he started conversing with these people without prejudice. Now, can you imagine that? Have you ever spoken to somebody who has disliked you and you've seen it in their eyes? Can you imagine these criminals who for years has seen that contempt, that hatred, that judgment? And now they're met by somebody who's completely open to them, accepting, wanting to know about them. When Hugh Len went to zero state, they changed. And as Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. Dr. Hugh Len worked in the Mental Institute for 4 years. After only 6 months, the patients started to get better. Less volatile, less aggressive, less troublesome. They no longer required shackles or sedation. The staff started to enjoy working there. His policy worked so well that the patients were actually moved to a less secure facility. Ho'oponopono can transform your moment. So what is this Ho'oponopono mantra? It's 4 short phrases that are repeated in whatever order feels right for you. And they're directed at your inner self, to that part of you that holds judgment about yourself or others. The 4 phrases are: I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. By repeating those 4 phrases, you're erasing the negative knee-jerk reaction to situations, and you're clearing those inner judgments. Anybody can do the Ho'oponopono. Whenever I feel a sense of judgment bubbling up inside of me, that's my cue to do the Ho'oponopono technique. In my family, we've started to use this process. When there's an issue in the family, we gather around the kitchen table. The issue is named. In this situation, my daughter wrote on my son's book. We sit around and we consider how we perhaps have contributed to her behaviour in this situation. And I look back at the moment and I remember I was cooking the dinner and I said, "Si, can you leave the kitchen?" She was probably annoying me. She felt rejection. She went out to her brother, who excluded her from his game. Now, she wasn't only feeling rejection, she was mad. And she took that out and she wrote in the book. So we all did something to contribute to her behaviour. Our feelings are discussed and acknowledged. Confession, forgiveness follows. And we release the issue with the Ho'oponopono mantra. We repeat it 2 times for each person that's sitting at that table. Ho'oponopono can transform your moment. This Ho'oponopono can be used as a self-healing process within the family or extended out to the community. And my suggestion is give it a try and see if it can transform your moment.